Hi, good afternoon from Marianna, Wow Women of Worth, for another episode of Wow Voices Speak Volumes. And this afternoon, I'm very happy to be here with Dr. Pretty Basra. Good afternoon, Pretty. How are you doing?
Afternoon, Mariana. I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along to be on this podcast. I'm really excited.
Yes, me too. Me too, because we were talking on the back end and saying that I don't know a lot about your business, about you. So I really look forward to explore with you what is your journey, what you have been doing, and what you're doing now, and most importantly, who you are. So let's go with the first question that normally I'm asking when it comes to authenticity. For who doesn't know me, I'm Marianna. I am the CEO and founder of Wow Women of Worth. And we are here with a series of lives, Wow Voices Speak Volumes, to talk about authenticity, a theme which is very important to me to help empower women in business to go through their marketing and personal branding in a more authentic way, which is really nowadays the superpower, not only to connect, but also to sell, because it's very hard these days to get to the heart of people, but the secret is through authenticity, and we really believe it. So quickly, I'd like to ask then, and over to you then, Pretty, about what means authenticity for you, and actually, what is the challenge you think for a person that is entering into a room, how to own this authenticity, wear it, and irradiate in a room. So over to you, Pretty.
Thank you. So there's a few different strands to what you've just asked there in terms of coming across as authentic. I think depending on what room you're going into, I would hope that in this day and age, people who already have had a look at your profile or your website or done a little bit of research maybe around you to understand who you are to a certain extent. And I think how you show up online in terms of on your websites and your social media is the first step in coming across as being authentic, because people might look and watch and see you before they actually meet you in the room. And I think there can be a bit of a disconnect, because it's funny, on the weekend actually somebody said to me that they've been reading some things that I post on LinkedIn and they really sort of resonated with what I've written. But then when they met me on the weekend, they said, you're exactly like your posts, you're exactly like your videos, your personality is the same. And I said, well, that's a funny thing to say. Like, what were you expecting? What were you expecting that I wouldn't be the same? And then they said, yes. They said there's often that they've met people that were in this room on the weekend where they haven't, what they've presented themselves as online is not the same as what they are like in person. So I think the first step in being authentic is actually showing up authentically on your social media platform, so that when people meet you in person, they can see, well, actually what they're writing about or talking about or posting about is actually the way that they are face to face. So I think that's, for me, would be the first step, is having almost your shop window on display online to say, this is who I am, this is what I do. And that to me is what I would see as coming across as authentic.
Wow, this is amazing. And I think you're absolutely right. The problem nowadays is when we are on social media, we project an image, sometimes it's flawless, which is good if you can curate your image in that way. But if it's actually the real one, also in the real life, makes completely that different, because I think the screen is like a magazine. If we think about a magazine, a glossy magazine where everybody at the, in my 80s, 90s, when I was a young lady, of course, for us, the magazine like Vogue or any major one, where those women or people on the cover, also men, it was like iconic ones. So basically something that is unreachable. And now that they are basically reachable through social media, actually you see them as individuals. So what was built in terms of the image was something that you are not able to reach, was something impossible. Now they're showing through social media their authenticity, their day-to-day routine or what they want to share. But fun enough, now the normal people are actually the ones that are becoming more celebrity. It's fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's sort of like micro influencers and like influencers, and I think it's really empowering that, like you say, normal people can become those sort of champions for certain things. But I think you're very right, Marianne, in terms of like a glossy magazine, like you've just said. I would say sometimes or often on social media, people just portray what I call the highlight reel. So they just show you the good times. They don't always go into showing you the other side of it, because like you said, life is up and down. And I think that's another thing as which helps coming across authentically, is if you share the highs and the lows, because you don't know what part of your journey is going to sort of be resonating with somebody, and it's very short-sighted to just show your wins but not your losses, because that's not, for me, that's not authentic, because that's not how life is. Like, if something goes up, it's always going to come down. So I think with social media, it is so great that we are able to see regular people able to monetize their personal brand by showing up as themselves. But at the same time, I think it's a bit of a danger for people that are growing up with this social media influence, when they're only just seeing the good times, and they're thinking that that's how their life should be. And we all know that's not how life is, unfortunately, whether you're a celebrity or not.
Absolutely. And so that is the point I want to make. The funny thing that celebrities, that for us, they are VIP people, unbeatable. They have this beautiful life and lifestyle. By eventually, they are human beings like everybody else. And the funny thing for us, normal, ordinary people, there is a space for us to show up and becoming our little celebrities. So this is very interesting way how the same platform can be used for the extraordinary people to come across like normal people, and the normal people show they are extraordinary. And I think is a fantastic way, as long as we keep ourselves in real, because that is sometimes the possibility. Losing the reality and disconnect, and being the celebrity of the moment, where instead there is something that is not real, because you come across like an extraordinary person showing you the best side of yourself, which in reality, I mean, it could be the possibility, but not most of the time you are going to get across as the real is. So quickly, I'm very interested, before we go into deep dive into what you do, I would like to know who you really are. So who is Pretty? The name is pretty enough, but let me know a little bit more about who you are.
Who I am. Okay. So I am an optometrist, so I'm an optician, and I have my own practice. I also have another business, which is an aesthetics clinic. So I'm also an aesthetic, I can't even pronounce it, an esthetician. So I do medical injectable treatments there for facial aesthetics. I'm also a podcast host. So I have my own podcast, the Women Money Business Podcast. I do various other roles within my profession. I chair sort of different meetings. I'm always busy, let's say, like I'm always doing something. So I'm a bit of I call myself the accidental entrepreneur, because I fell into entrepreneurship, not realizing that I am an entrepreneur until probably recently. I gave myself the label as an entrepreneur, because prior to that, I felt maybe a bit of imposter syndrome, thinking I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm just somebody who runs a business, you know. But then over the years, I've had sort of 4 businesses. So yeah, that's me. I'm just and I'm a mum. I'm a mum as well. I've got 3 boys. So I have a lot going on, a lot of plates that I'm spinning.
If we could pick up a word, what would this word define you as? You are a dreamer, you are an adventurer, I don't know. What would be the word to define you now? Because I think we can be everything really, but what is your archetype for now?
I would say the word that would define me is I am an optimist. I think That would be my word, and that's not because I'm an optician. It's very much to do with my glass is half full rather than half empty, and I always like try and look at the positive side. If something like negative happens or anything goes wrong, I try and see what's the learning in that, and how can it be better. So I would probably say optimist would be the word that I would resonate with.
While I was talking, and you were saying optimist, actually, fun enough, optimist and optician. So it must be something about the view, if you think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just looking through my life through a different lens.
Exactly, because optimistic or optician must be from a Latin,
Yeah.
derivation. Must be, so that's interesting. So you are very much aligned. There have been optimistic view. Amazing. So how long you been in business then?
So 10 years. 10 years this year was when I first bought my business. My optician's practice was 10 years ago, and then that's been interesting. A bit of a turbulent journey, but I think business is, entrepreneurship is. And then about 3.5 years ago, I opened my aesthetics clinic, and I had a business during lockdown that I had to set up sort of overnight, really, because I'd lost all my income via the practice. So yeah, so a decade in business, various businesses.
And how did it start your journey? For a necessity, for ambition, or what?
By accident. So I've never wanted to have my own business, and I came for a job interview, which then turned into, do you want to buy my business? Conversation with the owner of the practice. And that's when I was going through a lot in my life at the time, and I don't think I wasn't thinking correctly at the time, and it was a bit of a sort of a project, and I love a project. So I thought, well, maybe I can do this, maybe I can run a business. And I didn't fully maybe appreciate what running a business entails. And then I was pregnant at the time as well, and I was the only optician. So it was tough. It was tough. But then that sort of, as I've been going through my business journey, I started to realise, you know what, I do really enjoy doing this, and that's why I wanted to sort of do more business things, which is why I set up my other businesses, because I get a bit of a kick out of setting something up, and building up a brand. And through sort of my business journey, when obviously we're talking about authenticity, I realized so much about how important authenticity is when you have got a business, because people buy from people, and we hear that phrase so often, but more so now than ever because of the way the world has changed since lockdown. You don't get that human connection very often because everybody's digital. And that's what I've learned throughout my business journey, is that what people buy from me because I'm me, and they'll come in maybe with the brand name, but ultimately they come for me. And that's a lot of pressure, I would say, as a business owner, because you have to come across as authentic, and you are authentic. But what happens if your authenticity isn't liked by somebody? So you've got to almost look like you attract your tribe, but then it's a lot of pressure because you're putting yourself out there. Whereas years ago, you could have a shop front and hide behind that shop front, and the business would be known. Whereas now it's the age of authenticity and personal branding. I've gone off on a tangent there, Mariana.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, this is interesting. So you said by accident. So what is kept you going on? Because now 10 years is a lot of time. So what kept you going, and what is your mission then behind that by accident?
What kept me going is my loan payments. I've got to pay my loans. No, so I have thought of giving it all up in the early years when things were really hard, and I've just thought, what have I done? And I couldn't, because of my sort of financial commitments due to the business. But then I almost had that sort of light bulb moment a few years ago, And that's when I realized, like, do you know what? I like the fact that I can build a team, lead a team, and help people, because I work in healthcare. So for me, helping people is a really big why as to what I do. And over the years, those customers, patients, clients, whatever you want to call them, they become like a family. You form relationships with them, which is so nice, and that's what I really like. And to see that business then grow over the years, that's been my why, really. And that gives that I do get a thrill from that, knowing that I've set up something and I've grown it and I've attracted the people that I want to attract to me, and everybody's sort of flourishing in that environment.
Brilliant. So we were talking about the podcast. So tell me a little bit more about what is the mission with the podcast, what you want to portray, and how it works.
Yeah, so the podcast I set up back end of last year, and it was at a time where I was kind of rethinking, well, not rethinking, I was thinking, what have I done? What have I done over the past 10 years? And I just thought, like, has what I've been doing over the past decade, is that normal? And is that what other people do in business? And I just thought, well, I don't often go to networking events. This was last year. I don't often go to networking events. How can I speak to other female entrepreneurs and learn about their journey, but also educate myself as well, and understand what different sectors are doing, and just to appreciate and celebrate women in business? Because I just thought there's so many of us out there, and there's so much of a gender pay gap, and then you've got the funding issues in terms of, if you're female entrepreneurs, you don't have access to funding as well if you were male counterparts. And I really wanted to bring that information together on a platform where we could talk about personal stylists and how to dress for confidence, or how to dress in a boardroom, and talk about, finances, like why would you want to invest in properties, talking about people's different journeys into creating their businesses, and whether it's been an accident or they always know they were going to be an entrepreneur. Because that was one of my biggest questions, was to myself, is like, looking back now, I know I was made for entrepreneurship, but then is that unique to me, or have other women been through that? So my mission is to share knowledge from all around the world, because I have had ladies from the States or Australia come onto the podcast as guests, and sharing such valuable knowledge that I wouldn't be able to access probably 10, 15 years ago. Whereas now I've created something where you can come on and read about, listen to all different aspects. And I just think knowledge is power, and it is, but then it's only powerful if you know how to use it. And I'm hoping that with my podcast, we're not just giving you the knowledge, we're actually giving you the next step. What can you do next? Like the actionable tips afterwards.
Which is amazing, because yes, as you said, we can find knowledge everywhere, but what makes the difference is the implementation. So how to take action, because we can absorb so much notions, so we think, we know, but actually the knowledge comes from doing more than having just the notion about it. So definitely that is very empowering and helpful for women that want to get to the next level. So here at the bottom of the screen, you can read about the podcast, so we can find the Woman Money Business. But is it on YouTube, or is it on your personal platform?
It's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Audible, everywhere, basically.
Brilliant. So you are looking for new content. So what is the topic? You're talking about styling and everything that can help women in business. But is there anything that you like to cover with your podcast, which you are looking for, like something content that people could crave for?
Yeah, so to be fair, I've kept it quite broad with my 3 pillars. So the women, the business, and the money. So I have people from finance come on. I have people that have developed their own apps come on. I have people that help people write books. I've got people that work at like at Warwick Business School, you know, so it's quite broad. So if anybody is wanting to come on as a guest, please reach out to me by my email or on my LinkedIn, and we can have a chat about becoming a guest on the podcast. And usually my audience are usually female, like the majority of them are female, so it's a really good podcast to come on to if you are wanting to sort of demonstrate your skills in your business to women.
Brilliant. So basically, this is the podcast is something that you want to give a platform to other women, which is amazing. But your day-to-day missions then is with your business, Edwards and Work Opticians, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Where are you based with the business?
In Doncaster.
Okay.
So,
do you work also online? So the kind of clients you get, so you have inquiries online, you have a presence online. How it works for your audience?
Yeah, so in terms of for the patients that I see in my practice, a lot of the patients will be long-standing patients, but then we present ourselves online to attract sort of more of our ideal patients. So via our website, via our social media, and you know, the typical social media platforms that you would look to attract patients, that's what we would do. And obviously make sure we're ranking well on Google for opticians locally. So that's what we do to attract our patients.
So what is your next challenge, Pretty?
Next challenge. So I'm always doing something, to be fair, and at the moment, back end of last year, my challenge to myself was to be more visible on LinkedIn and share what I've been doing over the past decade, because to date I've just thought, who wants to know about what I've been doing, who wants to know about my failures and some of my successes. And then last year I just thought, you know what, I've got almost like a duty to share with people that things aren't always great, and you know, but you have to go through that to come out the outside, because each failure is then setting you up for something better, in my opinion. But then I am the optimist. So my sort of what I'm wanting to do at the moment is to increase my presence on LinkedIn, just to help educate and inspire other females to consider entrepreneurship and business, but inspiring them with the knowledge that it may not always go to plan, and that's part of being an entrepreneur. So that's kind of my focus at the moment, is to help educate and inspire people to consider business, and also to then educate further to make their businesses more profitable than what they are at the moment.
Brilliant. So you were telling me you started by accident, and then now you are successful with your business. But what has been the light bulb moment where you broke through, actually, that make you to stand where you are standing now? And what would be the advice for women that you are inspiring and working with?
So the light bulb moment, there's been lots of light bulb moments over the past 10 years. I think it's reflecting. I think it's often when you're in it, you just think, oh, you know, life's so bad, or things are like this. And I think when you take a moment, and I don't mean like on a weekly, monthly basis, sometimes it can take years for you to then stop and reflect on, do you know what, how far have I come? And appreciating the journey, because I think often when you're in business, you're just trying to work forward and just grow and want to sort of move from A to Z, that you don't often look back and think, do you know what, that was really good, that was like, I've been able to do that. And I think the light bulb moment most recently for me is, and has been for the past couple of years, when people ring up and they only want to see me, and they want to make sure it's me. Because I remember when I first started, the first 2-3 years was horrendous, where they would say, I don't want to see her, I want to see the guy that used to be here before. So that was a massive light bulb and switch around moment for me, when I think people come in, they ring up and they say, I've read about her, I've seen her, I want to see her. And that's the same for my aesthetics business as well. They come for me. And I think that's when I recognized the power of my personal brand. And that would be one of the things that I would say for someone that's looking to go into business, is be you. and don't be shy being you, because you are your own unfair advantage. There's no one else that can do what you do and be you, basically. And I think sometimes people do, and I've been there before, where you want to hide behind the brand because it's safer. Can you just say, oh, I just call my business this, and then I can hide behind it and not have to bring myself to, forward. But you're going to be so much more profitable and grow quicker if you market yourself as you. That would be my advice.
Yeah, this is interesting. While you were talking, and I was thinking also, if we think about the glasses, most of the time women, we use glasses to all hide ourselves,
Yeah.
hide, the eyes. So it's like a filter.
Bags under the eyes, like a lot of
Yeah.
I wear for this area.
Or basically, actually, you are wearing them to give you, some sophistication, or giving you an element to stand out. So, what is, from your experience, because you've been working for such a long time, and I guess for a lot of women as well. So, what is the experience that you got from a psychological point of view? They are women that they are scared to put on, not scared, they don't like to put glasses on, because most of the times I don't like myself with thick glasses, or actually the majority are the ones that they love it in order to have a mask in a way.
So there's different categories of patients. So I've got the patients that absolutely love wearing glasses. So they will just go as big and as bold and as wacky as they can, which I love it. That's great, because that's what I'm like. And then you've got the category that have always been used to it because it's part of their image. So it doesn't have to be like bold glasses, but they don't like themselves without glasses on, because they're so used to seeing themselves with the glasses on. Then you've got your third category that will wear them because it covers the bags or any sort of lines and wrinkles, and wear them, like you say, as a mask, basically, to sort of hide part of their insecurities. And then you've got the fourth category where they really don't like wearing them because the lenses are so thick, so they'll go into contact lenses. So it depends on the personality of the patient as to what are their wants and needs from their glasses. So it can vary.
Interesting. I remember when I started, I used to be short-sighted, started at 15. I was very young. And I remember I was dreaming of my first pair of glasses. I wanted the red ones. I was 15 years old. I wanted these red ones. And then over the time, then it started being a big problem, because I becoming, I was literally -5 on the right hand one, and the less on the other one, and the cooking, watching TV on one side, all twisted glasses. It was really, really annoying. Until then, I got the laser operation, so I was free. Honest, to me, it was free. But fun enough, I realized that without the glasses, my husband at the time said, "Mariana, you have a big nose." Oh, thank you. I didn't realize that. Yes, he said, with the glasses, I could see you. You have a big nose.
You don't have a big nose.
So nice. But actually, I remember that there was especially I think after a while, they say that you can have the face for the glasses. So when you show yourself without the glasses, it's a little bit weird. And now, because after the laser operation, you start having, I don't know in English, are you saying when you can't see close?
Yeah.
Yeah, presbyter, I think it's in Italian. I don't know. Are you saying English?
Yeah, English, presbyopia.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's the same. And now for the office to have look at the desktop for reading, I need the glasses. But I say, let's go for a bold one. And so that's interesting, how it's part of the confidence and the authenticity, because if you don't have something that you're comfortable with, you don't come across authentically, because it's part of the game. And definitely, if it's a way how you can get across in more authentically. Despite, everybody says, well, you don't need the sunglasses or the glasses to show off or carry out, but definitely something that is building your confidence. And why not? If you're able to get across more authentically because you feel confident with it, I always say go for it, because working with the personal branding, I look after also the styling side, and definitely they need to feel comfortable to get across in a more natural way.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm interested also now, we were talking about the challenges that you are facing now, but in terms of business, what is something that is challenging you in a good way, something that you are working towards in order to explore more about your potential, your side, in order to contribute in a different way? Are you focusing something on your personal brand, on your business? What is your challenge in that respect in order to become bigger and more successful?
So I think for me, I've been that person that's always hidden behind Edwards and Walker opticians. I've always said that I work here. I would not. I don't say that I own the practice. So that's something that is a challenge for me to say this is mine, because I don't know why. That's the way I am. Maybe it's a bit of imposter syndrome. So that's a big challenge for me to actually say to my patients. I'm sure majority of them know that it's mine, but I don't outwardly say it's mine. And I think that sometimes holds me back in the business, because I think even more people would come to me if they knew it was me. So that's something that I am working on, and that is sort of a big part of me going and exploring my personal brand on LinkedIn, is to build up that authenticity and credibility, and just speak about the fact that I own this. This is my opticians. I own this opticians, and I'm part of the community. So come and see your community optician, versus going to a bigger high street chain there. So I would say that's my challenge that I'm trying to overcome, and just own the fact that I own it. That's it.
Fantastic. So here I have displayed your website. So what they find on your website is drprettybasra.com.
Yep.
Yeah. What we are going to find out?
You can learn a little bit more about me. I offer coaching and mentoring, and I've got other things on there like my podcast. I have a network that I set up for optical professional females as well, so you can join that network via the website as well. And I'm going to be doing some networking events for opticians later on this year. And there's lots of other things that we're going to be popping up on the website, so you'll have to have a look at that to see in more detail. But it's just a little part of the internet that's trying to pull everything that I do together in one place, so that people can know more about me and if they want to work with me.
Fantastic. So where do we find you on LinkedIn? What is your handle?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think it's Dr Pretty Basra -bad BADH. But I think there's not many Dr Pretty Basras out there, so if you start typing it in, I'm sure I should pop up there.
Then I will put in the comments or the links for people that want to reach out. So all right, Pretty. So it was nice talking to you, because I know that also you've been through, this change. As I was saying, that going into a business by accident and having a big responsibility, I can only imagine that how difficult to break through and be successful. So, and then owning it in a way that is authentically belonging to you, that was a massive, in my opinion, transformation for you. And thank you for giving also the possibility to women to express their voices. I know what it's like. We have so much to share. Unfortunately, there's so much noise out there, so it's very competitive. Getting the attention, that is really the struggle, is because we got everybody the same tools, which is fantastic. The point is that going through with the right messaging and able to reach out more people in order to share our message, and empowering, and why not helping women or business owners in order to accomplish their mission. So I really appreciate what you're doing and the way you're doing. So hopefully I'm going to see you soon again. So we'll be in touch, because I know that you're working hard on the back end, on to next level for your business. So I really look forward to, at a point, to share your success with our audience and share what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for today. It's been great to chat about things, and I'm hoping that whoever listens to this feels a little bit empowered that if I can do it, you can absolutely do it in terms of females in business.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Pretty. And for who is watching the replay, I really appreciate if you want to reach out, Pretty, or you want to be part of WOW community, the WOW Festival until the end of June 2025. You are more than welcome to be part of it. Reach out also if you want to share with us your message in order to be more authentic and reach authentically your audience. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Pretty, again. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.